give them all of their heart desires. I also want to, even as people are celebrating, there are some sad moments. Today, one of our colleagues, Councillor Patrice Weah, will be buried today into a farm. Let me, as former president of the Bar Association and as former acting chairman of SUP, because he was all SUP president in the 90s, wish the family, we sympathize with the family, and we hope, that, God will give them solace. Only He can calm people. I also want to express sympathy to the Cllr family. Topo Cllr was head of the pharmacy program at the University of Liberia. He moved on to work in Burkina Faso. He just succumbed to cancer, stage 4, lung and liver cancer. He passed 2 days ago. Young, much younger than me. We express our condolences to the bereaved families of these 2 great sons of Liberia.
Wow.
But thank you for hosting me again. This is maybe my 3rd or 4th time. I'm becoming a regular
family member. Yeah, good, Council. And again, thank you for picking our call to come and we talk about some of these issues. Regularly, we're going to be doing this with all of you who putting your agenda forth that you can present a better idea that we'll all see like you're where we want to see that. But let's begin on this loop because of time. You've been around the country for almost a month or so. What's the level of engagement with the people and what are you getting or what you got from them while you were touring the country?
I don't want to use the word hope, but the people are excited about the message I'm giving them because I'm talking about life-changing actions of my government when I become president. And my message is based on my experience in this country. I grew up in a rural area too. So I tell them that given the hardship in the country, we'll restore some of the things that happened in this country before. I remember under Talbot government, children under the age of 5 never pay a hospital bill in a government hospital clinic. We want to bring that back. We want to introduce pregnant women going to all government hospitals and clinics free of charge. We want for all old people 65 years or in Liberia to go to government hospitals and clinics free of charge. And I promise that I will make government hospitals and clinics better than private hospitals and clinics under my regime, because as president I'll pay surprise visits to government clinics and hospitals, and if the medicine and equipment that government pay for are not there, somebody will account for it.
That would be a political statement because as a president, you don't have that luxury of time to say every morning I go pay the other visit to the player.
I will do that. You don't have the experience I have. I worked with president for 4 years. I worked with President Saye as executive assistant, not just an assistant. I was executive assistant to Dr. Saye. So I know what the president said.
That one you're talking about, Council, you were just helping President Saye and President Sali when you were working with them. But we're talking about where you sit in a seat.
I agree, but I know I used to be with Saye up 3 o'clock in the morning writing speeches. Because president have so many speeches to give, planning the day and all of that when people were sleeping. That's why I keep telling people that the presidency is not a retirement job, because I know it. I've been there. It's a difficult job. You remember when Obama was supervising the killing of Osama bin Laden? He was up 3 a.m. in the morning until the generals, he was watching everything.
In the situation room.
So it is not a retirement job. You work harder than everybody else. Imagine all the ministers are sending reports to you on a daily basis, and you have to make decisions, you have to read things. So, and you can't just rely on your advisors. And I know, working in the office of the president, that if you rely on advisors alone, you are done. You have a problem, because I used to tell Dr. Saye that your advisors are wrong. People don't like to tell the president the truth in this country. I remember there were decisions taken, and Saye were as the ambassadors, where I think all of them look at each other. Mr. President, what do you think about this first? As soon as he states his view, They will say, but I same thing we're thinking. I saw that many times. And I started losing respect for that. I said, these people are very political. Because everybody wants to bring relative to the president to get appointed into government. Okay. They want different favors from the president. So they don't want to be on the other side and the president be on the other side. Whereas the job of advisors is actually make the president do what is right in the interest of the majority of the people. Most often, it is their own interest that is
now. It could be dependent on the president's willingness to accept pieces of advice. And some people, they do not take in good faith. Once you advise them contrary to what they personally think, they become very apprehensive of you. And the next thing you see, they are effecting some action against you that could probably get you out of the job.
I mean, it is true. Some people do that. But the thing is, if you're an advisor to the president, you must act in the best interest of the country. Don't be afraid of losing job. You know, as some people can be. I never felt that way. Maybe I was a lawyer, you know, a young lawyer. I said, fine, I'll go to practice law. But Sawyer was my professor, peace be to his ashes. And he and I used to, not that he took everything lightly, he would argue with me. And then in the end, he would do it because I would be on the right side. And he actually told someone 4 years ago before he passed, he said, that young man was in his 30s, but I would not have succeeded here, and I've been there. He helped me a lot, and I felt good. You know, even though we disagree a lot, but in the end, we actually appreciate it. So people who are advisors should act on their, you know, based on their best judgment.
Okay.
You know, based on their best judgment.
So you are going to be that president who listens to pieces of advice.
Well, I'm accustomed to it. You know,
okay.
I go to the attire shop every day because I know in most of these attire shops, we call them intellectual fora. There are people who are brutally frank. They don't care how you feel. And that is why I always go there, because you will find people who will speak their minds to you. Even when I was Minister of Labor, I used to go to Cllr Street 6:30 in the morning, stay down until 7:30 before going to work. God, I said, you know, that's the place to go check myself, because somebody will tell you are wrong, Minister. So I will always go there. Even as president, I will go to the intellectual clubs. You know, I will. I Solicitor General went there. I've never left Cllr Street since 1991 when I was executive assistant to President Sawyer. I was Solicitor General.
So you'll be collecting pieces of advice from the streets?
It is so important.
Contrary to the professional advice that you may get from your people?
You don't know what the street people know. Don't overlook them. In South Africa, when I was working for United Nations, it was a car watcher who told me what was happening in KwaZulu-Natal. He gave me, and then when I asked intellectual later, they said that's correct. Don't mind the car watcher. You know what he told me? I said, why are black people killing each other in KwaZulu-Natal? You know, in Cllr Freedom Party of Buthelezi and ANC of Mandela. There are two black people. It's time for black people to take over why they killing themselves. He's a comrade. You don't know. When Mandela was in jail, the Boers that the Dutch, the white people promised Buthelezi that he was the leader, the black leader that he would turn the country over to. Yeah. Then they went and released Mandela without talking to Buthelezi, and Buthelezi lost that chance. So he was an angry man. I asked a university scholar later on in Port Elizabeth, he said, that's exactly right. The boys played game. They are the one responsible for black people killing each other because they are supporting Buthelezi with arms to kill ANC people. And you know, and so it took Mandela to stop that killing, because when the campaign was on, Mandela went to King Goodwill Zwelithini, the nephew of Buthelezi, and said, I was lawyer for your father, the king that you succeeded as a young lawyer. He said when the Cllr Freedom Party and the ANC people fight, when the dead bodies are in it, which dead bodies are they not all Zulus? He said they are all Zulus. He said, you are king of one. He said, I'm king of the Zulu people. He said, then don't take any side. That's how the conflict.
Okay.
So I'm saying it. Look, somebody told me it may not be true. They say, for example, when and this is rumor, they may not be correct, but rumors about presidents are something that people should know. I don't know, maybe, but someone told me that one time the former minister McGill told the president, you call me Maggie all the time. He called McGill Maggie in my presence one time when President Obama and we took the delegation of the African bar to have dinner with him. Maggie. So they say McGill told him one time, the president, my name is McGill. He said for 2 weeks you could not speak to McGill. He said, okay. So yeah, some people don't take criticisms lightly, but that should not deter you from seeing what is right.
Okay, so fast forward, there is this controversy in the public now, which is the main reason why you're here. You followed the Army Chief of Staff's position when he called on the government to ensure that every member of the government goes through a drug test to validate that no one is abusing drug and by extension abusing the young population of our country, many of whom are falling victim to drug addiction. And we listen to you, Tiawan Gongloe, the councillor, that the first place to begin is at the presidency for the president himself to take the drug test. Some people believe that you are too harsh, and some share within your opinion. I mean, what motivated you, or why do you think that the entire exercise should begin from the presidency?
The president is the leader of the country. He said he would lead, he would bring change for hope. All mothers and fathers in this country are hoping for their children to be rehabilitated, those who have taken drugs already and are addicted, to be rehabilitated and made normal human beings, and to be given skills to contribute to the development of this country. Look, I spoke, I think it was in West Point, and a lady told me her only child is in the street, who came from a very good home, well educated. You have college graduates in the street. You have high school graduates. You have skilled people in the street. And all over the country, and not just in Monrovia, I travel all over the 13 counties. And I live in Margibi and work in Montserrat.
Okay.
So I know that even they are police officers, they are DA officers, they are immigration officers, they are people right at the checkpoint. You see them and you know that they are addicted, they are taking drugs. Because you see them, whether it's in Sano, Grand Cru, or Grand Jide, or Bon County, or Nimba, or Lufa, or Bapolo, or Bomi, or Kidma, all the places I've been to, you go to the checkpoint, and you just hear them talk like the drug affected youth in the street that will call Zobo. Officer,
so what are you insinuating?
They are also affected by drugs.
Maybe your insinuation could be wrong.
I'm not wrong. I know the same with the fellow sound, Central Street and Ashman Street and Broad Street is the same with a lot of. I'm not saying.
But are you aware that some people naturally talk like that?
No. I'm a Liberian. That's why I say, in order to be president of this country, you must know the country very well.
Okay.
For example, I usually say, Obama was good president in America. You can't be good president because he doesn't know us, right? You and myself, when we say I come and go, everyone understand it. In all the places I've traveled in the world, that only Liberians can use that word, I come and go, which means I'm about to leave. How you can be coming and going? That's a contradiction. You can't do. So I know Liberians, and when I see, I went to school in this country. I have friends taking drugs.
But I don't think it's sufficient to just look at somebody by the sound of their voice alone.
It's not scientific. But
it's radical.
and it looks like you know.
Now you.
But it's true. It looks like.
No, but first you were definitive, as though your method is scientific when it is not.
No, it's not scientific.
Okay.
And the reason why we say that we should test all of them, so it can be scientifically proven.
Okay.
Maybe some of them will pass the test, but we don't know yet. The president sat and took the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
President, we have failed on it. We didn't see him publicly taking the COVID vaccine, which is probably what undermined the spread, the acceptance of all Liberians to take the COVID.
Okay.
Let the president, I'm just saying the president alone, let the president, all the ministers, all the heads of the security agencies,
all leaders of the country,
all of them,
including opposition,
people, exactly, all of us, because this is a national disaster that is taking place. Google children are in the street. I know one of my friend's son, a junior of his father, is in the street today. When you see me,
Councillor Gongloe, speaking of your method to determine as to whether someone is addicted to drug, the president doesn't talk like that, but you are asking him to begin the entire process. Are there any suspicions?
Oh. Historically, that president friend, one time in America before
James Bestman, let me call him name,
was arrested for drug. And a friend said, show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are.
So there are suspicions.
There are suspicions. Number two, his beach resort is named nothing else but Jamaica. And there are speculations.
Jamaica is the name of a country.
That's true. But
beautiful people, unique culture, and so forth.
I love reggae music. Yeah. I love Bob Marley music. Even up to now. And they are philosophical, stand up for your rights as a human rights president.
Sure.
All of that. But drug, they seem the way other people oppose narcotic drug is not the way narcotic drug is opposed in Jamaica.
The only thing I know is marijuana. Marijuana is made legal in Jamaica for medicinal purposes only.
It is not legal here. And who determines how much you take for medicinal purposes? It's a slippery slope. People's resistance levels are different.
But that can be sufficient reason to have some suspicion about the president.
A few years ago, you were a journalist. A few years ago, a presidential escort car was caught in Cape Man. I think it was Bow Waterside, one of those places.
Okay.
And one brave police or DA officer at the checkpoint said, "We'll check this car." And sure enough, his suspicion became a reality that there were narcotic drugs, in a presidential escort car.
Maybe that was done without the president's consent. Rather.
All of that, all these speculations can be clear. Let the president take drug test.
So
and when he takes it, and he's free. That will put him in. That will give him a stronger moral standing to deal with, to even dismiss officials of the government who are involved. Who are involved in taking drugs. So let him clear himself. You see, that's the best form of leadership is leadership by example. That's the best. Look, you start telling your children in the house, don't lie. You owe me $500. You say, come for your money Sunday at 2 o'clock. Then you tell your children, anybody come there today, I'll say, I'm going to bang her.
Or you say, I'm sleeping.
I'm going to bang her. Sleep inside, all right, because so high the president will say, no, that man has to work and pay my money today.
Okay.
You've been dodging me. So I come to your house 2 o'clock, and the children say, our pa going to bang her. I stand there, I deal with your pa is irresponsible. I say, all kind of thing, your pa is a rogue. And the children, I'm inside in the living room, and I'm hearing all that, I don't respond. Tomorrow morning, at devotion, on Monday morning at devotion, you tell your children, that shall not lie. That shall not lie. Will they believe you? They will not believe you.
But, Councillor, you have
leadership by example. Don't keep your roof bottom under your bed and you say, that shall not drink. You preach it every day. Then your children say, Papa, we want to go clean the room. Papa, we want to go clean the room. When you go there, that under that bed, thing. So they say, but this man is a pastor of a church, this Pentecostal church, very good man. How can all his children are drunks? Because, by example, the man is the Papa talking that thing on a pulpit. Look at there. You know,
Council, the call was formally made by the Army Chief of Staff, Prince C. Johnson, and you are accentuating the call and asking leaders to be exemplary. Why you don't feel obliged to begin the entire process? Because you are standing on a moral ground to call on the president to begin it. Yeah, so begin with it. Be the first person. Why don't you be the first person to go and do it and say, okay, I am free. So I'm therefore asking for the president to begin the entire stuff. You also want to stand on a moral pedestal to point fingers at the president.
I read it yesterday in a paper. So me, I'm prepared. When I leave from here, I'll look for the chief of staff number and call him. I say, is there a place where they're doing the test right now? Because I want to be tested.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be tested. I'm not just taking a shot at the president.
Okay, so you want to be the first to do it, and then later on call for the president.
I'm prepared to do it today, right after here.
So, what significance is it to the Republic of Liberia, and what difference does it bring if all of the officials of government go through drug tests? What difference does it bring? How does it help Liberia as a country?
You know, because there's a suspicion that most VIPs in this country are taking drugs, and that suspicion is widely believed. Then the people who are affected by drugs will say, you know, in fact, they say you go to the ghetto, police people there in the ghetto, or the people there in the ghetto, or they're working on fighting drugs. So when we those who go into to the ghetto will be formed because the drug will be in their blood.
Sure.
And maybe they could be excluded from the law enforcement agencies, they could be excluded from government, except for rehabilitation and everyone. So then those in government and the public will say, yeah, all these people are drug free. So they have the moral authority to actually enforce the drug laws. But if people suspect that most people in government are also taking drugs, they will not take what the government says about drugs seriously. So as a citizen of Liberia and as one of the leaders, I strongly feel that all these things should be taken seriously, because the drug addiction is also promoting the frequency of crime and the severity of crime. Armed robbery and women walking in the street and bags are checked. The things that they do are not things that people who are normal would do. So it's affecting our streets. Nobody walks the streets of Monrovia after 9 o'clock. People are imposing curfew on themselves, even though the government has no curfew, because they are afraid of the drug-affected youth in the streets.
So let me ask you to make this comparison. Doing a drug test at one hand is cost intensive, and being a student of economics, aside from your legal profession, I know you are a student of economics, and at one point in time you taught economics at the University of Liberia. I know that very well. So have you analyzed the cost-benefit analysis of this entire exercise, because it's going to cost the government huge money? On the other hand, of everything, are you also taking into consideration the mere fact that doing these drug tests is as important as the passage of the drug law? Between the two, which one will you prefer? Doing the drug test at the moment to deal with the issue of drug, and demanding the government to pass a drug law that will be effected and make the sale of drug a non-bailable crime? Between the two, where do you stand? If you were to prefer one.
Let me tell you. If you have people who are taking drugs, they will not be effective enforcers of the drug law, no matter how severe you make the drug law. People, we have so many laws in this country. The real problem in this country is commitment to law enforcement. So if you have, for example, DA officers, maybe from the head, from the top down, involved in drug trafficking and taking drugs and all of that, I don't care how severe you make the law. It will not be enforced. And one South African jurist said one time, don't make a law that you cannot enforce, because then it undermines the credibility of the law. then it's like you're promoting impunity because you're not enforcing the law. And once people feel that the law is not effective, it's not being enforced, they will not be afraid. So it's not the severity of the punishment as much as the willingness to actually impose that punishment. Yeah? So that's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
In short, you momentarily prefer subjecting all government officials to the drug test.
Let's start from there.
Okay.
Let us start from there. You know, you cannot exclude making severe law. But the first test...
But one is cost intensive and one bears no cost. It carries no cost.
When in terms of peace and security in any country and development, forget about cost. You know, it's like somebody says, if you think election is very expensive, try civil war. Try bad election that leads to civil conflict. Okay. You know how many billions of dollars was spent from 1989 until 2003 in this country? Because we didn't do the right thing. We didn't govern our country well. It's very expensive. Spend every amount of money to prevent the worst things in society. So spending money on tests, in my view, is minimum. It's nothing compared to the potential labor of the country being all drug affected. It's terrible. Okay. And it goes on from generation to generation. It will get worse to control. We have a serious problem at hand. I think, you know, drug addiction by all our children is worse than civil war. Because civil war, you can go far through and here and avoid things. But if your own children are all drug affected, where are you going? We have situation in this country where you have drug affected children, some not kill their own mom.
So how would you have dealt with the situation? How would you have dealt with the situation if you were president? Or if you managed to be president of the country, how will you deal with the issue of drugs? Let's hear your plan. Let's hear your plan.
On my plan that we rehabilitate the young people who are affected by drugs, and as they get rehabilitated, give them skills as carpenters, as mechanics, as tailors, as masons, while we are enforcing the drug laws, you know, because if you don't enforce the drug laws and you only rehabilitate and there are more, the population of people taking drugs is increasing, it will be counterproductive. And as a lawyer, and the first well-trained lawyer to be elected president in this country, the first former president of bar to actually be elected, I know that my performance will be judged by the extent to which I maintain rule of law, that I put Liberia under the rule of law. Just as the credibility of President Weah is zero, because as a football giant, Liberia not being able to qualify for even African Cup of Nations. We are not being able to qualify for WAFU before I talk about African Cup. And if they bring Manuel Young Cup, they will not qualify.
Maybe it may not be an outstanding priority at the moment.
No. He promised us, and the young people are saying, when he become president, Messi will come play, Ronaldo will play. I heard these things. I tell you, remember that?
No, I don't think he personally said it.
Well, he said he was going to put stadium in all of the counties. He said that there were going to be a football academy. No step has been taken for creating a football academy now, and that's why I usually ask his supporters, if a man feels in his area of expertise, football. I'm not just saying sport. You're expecting to excel in the area of improving our health system, our educational system, road building and all that. He didn't live in the interior, so he doesn't even know what I know. I know, growing up in his 70s, his 60s and 70s in Tapeta, I never heard one day that even September the road from Zwedru to Tapeta got cut off. Because President Tubman, when he built the road from Carisburg to Harper, he put road maintenance areas. Every county along the road had public works yard to maintain the roads. So even though the roads were not paved, they were good. The only thing we suffered at the dust. But people were driving 70 miles per hour on Letterite Road that was well maintained. In 1979, as a student leader for the Universal Library, I wanted to do some work in Cape Palmas at Fatima and St. Francis. That time I met Abochie. They were in high school at that time. I was a third year student at Universal Abochie, and the later Paul was at St. Francis.
Okay.
I took taxi from Harper City, 6 o'clock in the morning. By 9 o'clock in the evening, I was in Monrovia. It does not happen these days. It takes a week or two now to come from Harper to Monrovia. That is affecting our development. You know, it's affecting everything. Recently, I went to the Southeast, and the level of negligence of this government, of the Southeast, is beyond explanation.
What did you see?
I'm
told that you went to River Sands and you went to the president's mother's town.
I went to.
Let's say your experience.
Let me tell you this. I had an event in Kilipo Kanweken. There are two Kanwekens. Kilipo Kanweken is a smaller town. Bepo Kanweken is the Kanweken that everybody knows, is a big town. And that's what you have health center, everything. So I finished chopping the pole in Kilipo Kanweken at 5 o'clock. I sent the motorcyclists ahead and said, tell the people in Bepo Kanweken I'll be there at 6. Because I know normally on that road, I've been on the road since 1979, it's 20 to 30 minutes on that road. Guess what? I met my first surprise, major one. I did not reach Bepo Kanweken until 1 a.m. in the morning. Everybody had gone to bed because the mud on the road, I saw more than 30 trucks stuck in the mud. So our 3-car convoy could not pass. Aminata, tanker, big trucks, all stuck in the mud. In dry season, because the rainy season are not really started in our country yet.
Okay.
So I reached there. I was lying there. This young man sitting in the studio is the one that woke me around 12:30 in the morning, because I usually go to bed between 8:30 and 9 o'clock because I woke up 2 o'clock every morning. So by 9:30, I just saw myself sleeping. I just picked leaves and put it on the ground and lied on it. I started sleeping. So I came out, I told my wife, I said, you see, you should never say, I can never do this. I will look at where I live in Monrovia. For me now to be sleeping by the mud on the highway.
On leaves.
And I could have been bitten by snakes.
Yeah.
By a snake, because in the night they can crawl. I didn't care about it because sleep had no mercy. We can say, I just passed out. But I thought I was lying in my bed. I was enjoying dreaming.
Yeah, the cold breeze.
Now I tell them they came to wake me up and say our cars have crossed.
Wow.
Then I remember that there was one pickup park there that was well loaded, but there was a lady inside very sick, and they were taking her to people so she can go to the hospital. I said, we can't leave without that woman. I sent my Toyota Land Cruiser Jeep to haul the woman. That one spot is full because this pickup was so loaded to haul it out of that mud. Yes, they haul it out of the mud, but I've spent more than $1,000 because of that. I don't regret it, but it was a good thing to do. But that was the experience. So I was lying there thinking and saying, so Bahar Road can honor my peace and development, peace and security.
Sure.
So what if Ivory Coast attack us now? Then how will move troops? Right here at the mud, they will defeat us.
Oh, of course.
And then what if somebody is sick in Kilipo Kanweken and they want to bring that person to the big hospital in Kilipo Kanweken? This person will die in the mud. Because imagine from 5 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning.
So how do you think those things can be settled quickly? Because
then the next thing is Bahar Road multiplies poverty.
Okay.
Because if you have a farm in Cllr, big is a Maryland town, the first big town in Maryland, and you have your big planting farm, and you harvest it. You go to one fuller man there or any other businessman and say, credit me money, man. I'm carrying to charter a truck. I'm carrying my truck load to go by truck. I'll make 2 times the money you give me. I'll pay your money next week. You come to Kilipo Kanweken, between Kilipo Kanweken and
you get stuck.
You get stuck there. After 10 days, your planting all get rotting, and you go back to that place. You owe the man money. You might even have to give all your savings and not sufficient, you might even sell all your property to pay the present debt. Then you have become poorer. And if so many people are facing that condition, it means Barrow is multiplying poverty in southeastern Liberia.
Okay. We have Councillor Tiawan.
Let me tell you the president town. Maybe you.
We'll look at that, Council. And of course, we're gonna run shortly for our break, and then we'll come back. We got two other things to deal with on the plate this morning before Councillor Gongloe leaves off. But let's go back to this drug issue. Council, I've sat and listened, and you gave all of your position. But there is this precedent case when you talk about leadership. Of course, we know the president is still subject to whether he has taken the COVID-19 test. Recently, the president is equally subject whether he was counted doing this census that we get the preliminary result coming out as saying we have 5 million people or a little over 5 million people. What's the surety this time around with the campaign that the president should be the first to take these drug tests?
Well, that should be is left with him. If you're a leader, you must show the way. You know, you must take the first step.
Why would you want
for people to follow you? You are the leader.
But he has not done that. And you continue, but then you own a campaign alone, you got to do it. Why would you go for something that you know the president will not do?
Well, you will just keep making the demand as citizens. Am I right to call upon the president as citizen of Liberia? Now, one of the fundamental rights I have to speak to my leader. And if it fails, as the CDC government has failed the people, you know, I heard a CDC official saying, and now they're involved in pay for play. $9 million to each of the candidates, carrying $15 million to NIMA. That is pay for play. The American government should sanction the president and the officials of CDC.
And that is when you.
That's pay for play.
That is the call you're making from the analyst newspaper.
Yeah, for Nokoe. Nokoe should be sanctioned. You can't sanction my senator for pay for play, and then you sanction McGill for pay for play, and you leave on Nokoe. Nokoe clearly, and he has not denied that he received $25,000. He has not denied that he has a deal for $3 million. This is blatant demonstration of pay for play. It undermines the integrity of the electoral process. It will not make the field level for all of us. Those of us who
no, but Council, you would want to agree that our system is structured in a way that you can affiliate, you can associate with whatever political party you want to. And look what political party.
It is a fundamental right to associate and not to associate. It's a constitutional right.
So Nukwa is going
but
into business.
But not associate. Hey, you can go, you can talk. But when they pay, you're receiving money for it, then it's a violation of the Magnitsky Act. And to the extent that the United States government is applying that, I'm calling upon them to apply the law equally to everyone. Otherwise, those Liberians that are affected will be like we are being partially treated.
What's the fear if Nukwe should associate with the CDC?
That not fear. I am just saying you set the wrong standards. That's pay for play. If you say I like CDC's policy, if you say I like CDC's policy and I like the platform this time, and I'm going there, and no money is there, that's his right. Even though I don't think that they have anything good to offer, because you see, when you engage a woman and you want to marry her, that time you want to give her a gift and take her pay or rent, buy her clothes and everything. And that is what first term for any president means. That's the time to persuade people by your good actions. Because when you second term, you got nothing, you don't care. That's the time that people can be reckless. So I heard CDC officials saying, you know we fail, we haven't done the things that we promised to do, but when you give us second term, then we'll do it. Or you engage a woman, you make her happy, that when you marry her, she will leave you. She'll say, no, I beg you. The time you're supposed to persuade me to make that decision, you made that decision. Then you're telling me when I made a decision, you do it. So they are wrong. And I don't think Liberians should give them a second chance, because President, we are just football alone, you feel it? So and southeastern Liberia, I went there. Officials of government were endorsing me. That's the first place I got endorsements. Southeastern Liberia, from Grand Jada to Sastan, the president's home. I went to all those counties. And places I've been in the town. The places I've been to, not many presidential candidates I've been to.
Okay.
Philadelphia in Grand Group, Boajiken, Bewan, Dugbo. I can call Adventown, you know, in every county. Where Pakwai town is across the river. It's like Sestos City is like Brove, and Pakwai town is like Fendel or Kirisburg.
Okay.
Upstream, in a wide part of the Sestos River, entering the Atlantic Ocean, you see it, you get scared. But I went there, entered the town, the elders, old man there, who gave me cola, said, what do you depend on? Even our officials of government, River said, don't come here. The only way to go there is Bakino, because there's no road going there. It's across the way upstream. Now they cross the river straight.
Wow.
Then I said to him, I want to be president for people in Sestos and people across the river. And I want to see all of them, the conditions under which they are living. So when I become president, I can be in a mental position to transform their lives. And there is no risk too big for me to take as someone who wants to be president of this country. Oh, sleeping by the roadside and all of that. People saw me, I roll up, I'm not bluffing when I roll up my trousers and my shoes are in my hand, walking in that mud. I could have stopped and said, I'm going back to Monrovia. No. So, and then they told me, oh, do you know the Pakwai town? They said, do you know the Pakwai town is the home of President Weah's late mother, Annie? I said, what? And looking at that, I want makeshift school there. They build with stakes. I am calling on President Weah on the Ramadan day to make the people of Pakwai town feel like their daughter, their sister, their auntie, born somebody who is way up there today. He has money to do it. Whatever his salary, half of it can make the poor of Pakwai town happy. Let him get even a tourist boat. Let him rent it. Let him get something. Let him be brave and go there. Because everybody say, oh, Niji in the river. Well, yeah, they keep talking about Niji. Well, maybe the poor in Niji know about Niji. But I didn't care. And I was wearing gown. People are posting, why are you not wearing life jacket? I took the risk. I went there with my crew. And so I'm calling upon President. He got less than 6 months to be in power. Sincerely, I think the people of Pakwai town deserve it.
So
the people of Southtown also deserve it. The road to Southtown is like a poor man farm road. I mean, it's like somebody farm road, but not rich man farm road, poor man farm road.
Councillor Gongloe.
Very bad road.
Councillor Gongloe, you've traveled extensively and you've had a first-hand experience of what Liberians are going through across the country. Now, looking at the presidency and the enormity of tax associated with it, where do you think the country needs to concentrate, and what are some of the basic policy reforms you think that need to be carried out in the immediate, in the medium term, and in the long term?
You know, I've told people in the first 100 days, rule of law establishes the atmosphere for governance. No governance can take place in chaos. So in the first 100 days, maybe in the first month or first week, I will issue an executive order that any official in the executive, because they are the one that usually have power and interfere, that interferes with police operation will be immediately dismissed. Then you don't enjoy my pleasure anymore. Because that your knowledge and experience that gave me the will to appoint you. You undermine my government by interfering with police operation, you're out. The most important officer in government that in any country that you meet first are the police. They control stability in the street.
Sure.
You meet immigration when you enter, and we put all of them under law enforcement. You interfere with immigration, you interfere with police, you are dismissed, and you could be prosecuted for obstruction of government function. I'm a lawyer. So we do that. We issue another executive order for maintaining the independence of the judiciary.
Okay.
That the judges must be left to use their wise judicial discretion. They may make fair mistakes to decide every case so that everybody is equally under the rule of law. We do that, we set the tone now for development. And before we establish Polo, I want to put 10 to 15 caterpillars on the southeastern road from Ganta to Fishtown for the roads to be maintained.
Okay.
You know, I want to.
Is it a repeat of what Tobo did, or you want to break away and do more than what Tobo did?
Let me tell you something. It's going to take 50 years or more for all the roads in Liberia to be paid. That one was there when people say, in my first time, I will connect all the county capital with payroll. I say, that one so I'll never do that kind of thing. I'll never say, but I will make sure that the roads are maintained. It worked before on the top, it worked on the top, it worked on the door. So why drop a policy that worked well for the country and goods and people are moving?
Maybe it does not share the relevance that it had before today in the 21st century.
No, government officials don't want that. They want 10%. Because when you get contract, you can get 10%. We know it's corruption that undermines, this side. Because when you put polywood, all the kind of, maybe that few people will steal. That doesn't put too much money in people's pockets. We need road maintenance is a routine duty of every government. When you want to build new road, you can contract.
And we have an agency for that.
But maintenance of the road is a routine function of government. Government should buy equipment. I want to put 5 to 10 machines between Banga to Foya. And that's an international road that goes to Sierra Leone and go to Guinea. It has to be meeting for commerce to move, for people to move. The road to Southeast Liberia goes to Africa. That's also an international road. This dereliction due by the government is just terrible.
Without plans to pave the road? Just maintain them without plans to pave?
The pavement will keep going. I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's the ultimate thing. But somebody had to pave all the road. But at least people were moving through. Before Tubman took power, the whole country was forest. And you went by the road. They threw in a hammer from here to Kepamas. My father told me the story. And Tubman declared, the next time I come to Kepamas, I will come in a car.
Okay.
And in 5 years, he built that road to Kepamas. Then President George, we have people say that. I don't think himself really believe that. When they say, oh, the president has built more roads since he came to power than all of the president of J.J. Roberts and Ellen Johnson Sirleaf combined. I said, but Ellen road from here, they pay road from here to Ganta border, first time. They pay road from here to Buchanan, first time. Motivated people now to vote for her. Is this government is something that this government has not even made up in terms of malice. Okay. So, but the truth, and I must say on the radio, is that George Weah has excelled in another type of construction. He has built more private homes for himself than all of the president of Liberia combined from J.J. Roberts to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Oh, he has done perfectly well in that. But that is why we have the depth of corruption, because it is our money he took to build a 47-story building in 8 months and to tear down a brand new place on 9th Street, all of that. This is reckless disregard for honor, for sanctity of the office of the president. That's the person that Louis Ban should be talking to when he said, oh, no one has so desecrated the office of the president than President Kennedy. Ellen Johnson said that statement is more applicable to this president. And I think Louis Ban should.
Let's all you to take your breath, Council. We'll run for this short break. We'll come back. We'll get one more item on the agenda. We'll deal with that. And then we'll move on to the line this morning. We have presidential aspiring Councilor Tiawan Gongloe from the Liberia People Party. Of course, he's here. And we're looking at a host of national issues this morning. Let's run for this short break to be back.
Thank you. Welcome back to Let's Talk Liberia on Joy 101.5 FM. Welcome to the program. Let's look at our online TV. Online TV quickly. Let me get the phone.
Quickly we look at the online TV.
Okay, we read out some comments and then we go back to the counselor for his conclusion. Let's go quickly to Joy TV Liberia and read out your comment right here on Joy 101.5 FM. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
I think okay, we need some adjustments here.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So let's start from right here this morning. Let's begin from George Watkins Jr. He says, "Good morning, Joy TV, and a pleasant good morning to the peace-loving people of Riverside County, the land of supremacy. Happy Ramadan to all Muslim brothers and sisters in the country, and happy birthday to Victoria Tolo Kwekwe. Thanks for the show this morning. We are actually following and we're enjoying the flow of the counselor. Muhammad Sekou Masale, good morning, guys. Eid Mubarak to all my Muslim brothers and sisters, and may Allah bless Liberia." And I think let me go right here. Solomon Colombo Campbell Jr. is here. He said the Army Chief of Staff is right by calling on all government officials to be tested for illegal drugs, because he knows majority of the top officials are trafficking drugs into the country. And I support the position of the counselor. And that's it for my MCC. Watching from Cinco Matari. And good morning to Joy FM. Eid Mubarak to all Muslim brothers and sisters in the Republic of Liberia. Samuel Doba, he says, good morning to the Joy FM family and the people of Liberia. I'm following closely from the United Kingdom. Let's stop it right there. A lot of things to talk about. The council is here.
We're moving on, man. A lot of things to talk about, folks, this morning. We just cannot get our second guest. Our Senator Nathan, the traffic, the fish market is not permitting him. So, he wouldn't be here. We can schedule that for next week, hopefully. But we move on with Councilor Tiawan Gongloe this morning. And, of course, as you listen, 2 minute things. Council, let's come to this issue. Of course, you talked about the issue of the drugs. Let's look into the politics from the angle of the LPP. On 6 months to this election, of course, the second phase of the voter registration is ongoing. There is this widespread concern that it is time for you presidential aspirants to start making known the full ticket that Liberians will see and start to evaluate moving forward. How soon do we expect the LPP presidential hopeful to call a running mate that we start to evaluate?
We'll do that soon. We set up committees, we give the criteria, and names have been submitted and being vetted. What I can say is that we will meet the requirement of the law, and there will be a full ticket. But let me say this, if I ask you, even journalists, to tell me the vice presidential running mates or even 5 political parties in 2011, you will not remember. In 2017, you will not remember. Prince Johnson, for example, Senator Johnson, who came third and came fourth, brought some obscure person who nobody knew, but they were voting for President Johnson. I don't even remember, even though he's my senator from the county, I don't remember the name of the vice presidential candidate that he brought 2011 and 2017. So really, the emphasis, for the thing that motivates voters to vote is the person who is the presidential candidate, what he says, and the people ability to believe him or her based on track record. And that's why I'm here talking. Certainly, I'm not going to take someone who is far different from me. Because if vice president is a potential president, nobody has a future. God could call me one day after election. So I would be doing wrong to the people if I have somebody who, is not like my type. Then so I'm taking all that into consideration. But let me, I just want to piggyback. To talk a little bit about this leadership by example. You see, President Tauber, you said people should go to work on time. I was at the University of Liberia. The man used to live in Bensonville. 7:30, he used to be right at the mansion gate with 3-car convoy. He said he didn't want waste, so he had 3-car convoy. The vice president of Liberia had only 1 car with a motorbike that time. And he used to arrive there, 7:30, go upstairs, he was arriving, he would say his prayer, 8 o'clock he would be at desk, organize his work. 9 o'clock, he started going from ministries to inspect. That's why he fired, the first person he fired was the Minister of Education. He came to work 10 o'clock, the president presented him letter of dismissal. He said, if you are coming to work 10 o'clock, when do you expect the supervisor of schools in the counties to come to work? And when do they expect the principals to go to school? So that was by example. He didn't stay in Benson Bay and fire you. He came to that office. No, he was sitting in that office, and by 9, he went at 9 o'clock and said, oh, because his private secretary drew a letter of dismissal and bring it to me. And the man came 10 o'clock, he fired him. So, and then he said, look, let's roll our sleeves and work. He started wearing short sleeve shirt, not coat suit. Even though you're wearing coat suit, take a coat on the top, man. He started wearing what they call total informal suit today, the safari suit. Everybody started wearing. Wait. President Weah is wearing the Nigerian clothes, right? Yeah. That they call Pro today. Everybody wears Pro. Leadership by example. That's how you want people to appear in our official program. He's appearing like that. People are following it. You know, if you start wearing tailcoat, I bet you everybody will start wearing tailcoat. So this drug thing is a serious thing that is affecting all our children, and nobody's child is exempt. All of our children and grandchildren are potential victims of drug. So the president should take the thing seriously. He should make give a national address on it and say, I am going to, start
the process.
Yes.
Good. And you talk about a couple of names on the table, and this is important because you are out there telling the Liberian people why you should be president of this country. Our law say you should be 2. It's a whole ticket.
Yeah.
So the vision that you carry out there is the same vision that your running mate will be following.
Yeah.
Are you looking within a circle of the opposition, or you going out there, somebody who is not in no position, so to speak, if Mote Lima for it?
No, I'm not calling names. Yeah.
I'm talking about no position, meaning that somebody who is not within a circle of politics, or will you look within the community of the opposition?
I will take the best person, and I will not care whether the person is in the opposition or even the person can even be working with the ruling party. And there are some good people. We're looking at Liberia's interest, number one. It's like when I'm president, if there's somebody working in the CDC government who I know had the potential to do good, I mean, I'm not giving her a job, but like that woman, the fishery, she appears so competent. I've talked to her before. And why should any government come into power
and take over
drop her when she's...
You mean Glasgow?
Yeah. I'm impressed by that woman, right? Yeah. So it's Liberia's interest first. I mean, I don't know everything, but what I know about her impresses me. Yeah. And so we should be thinking about Liberia. Somebody from that side, or in another party, or from an NGO, civil society, is Liberia's interest. People who share the values that I share. And I want to talk about collaboration. I say, I want to see people who share the value that I've been talking about president's salary and benefit being put on the internet. Have you heard any presidential aspirant talk about that? All of them promoting that secrecy that they think through which people can stay. You got 2 types of aspirants. You got establishment aspirants who know the system and want to perpetuate the system. And then you have change agent. That's what I represent.
The change agent.
Change agent.
Okay.
To do things a different way, emphasizing the supremacy of the Liberian interest. People of Liberia over your own interest.
This is the reason.
That's what I promised to the world. That I'm not going to build one more kitchen when I become president. When I'm 66, how many more years I have to live that I'm going to be acquiring property all over the place? There's something wrong with people. You are president when majority of the people are happy. I want a sweet land of liberty for all Liberians, not for less than 2% as today. Less than 2% of the country is enjoying the wealth of this country, damaging the country. Big shots in government running gold companies, damaging the river. Go to Southeastern Liberia. A president pro tem got company there, they're damaging the river, for people. Just so they can be in power. So it's annoying. I don't understand where these people are from the island. They are not Liberians.
And so to your statement of being a change agent, I think there's one reason why many Liberians are making demands that they want to know your running mate, because they want to take time off to evaluate the person that you'll be selecting, to know as to whether the person is a reflection of the personality you've presented to the public. And it is not too fair to the people of Liberia to delay them until maybe 2-3 months of election before announcing your running mate. They will not have ample time to evaluate your ticket, to know as to whether the person is a true representation of the change agent.
Thing I can tell you.
You represent.
Would be like me, who have stayed in Liberia for most of my life, right here.
Okay.
That person will not be from Jamaica or from England or from America living there. It will be somebody who is occurring the Liberian problem and has been involved, whether in civil society or in government, dealing with the problem that is occurring. Because it's wrong.
The question is how soon?
You can get somebody with PhD and they can be beer seller from America or from somewhere, and they do well in beer selling. They will not be our best president because they don't know the problem here. You see, I can talk about Liberian problem because I live, and I talk about restoring the problem where you are in New York.
Yeah.
Some people can't say because they don't know. They have no experience with that. There are some people in this country who want to be president who have not been to all of the counties. Some have not even been to 10. You cannot solve a problem that you don't know. You have to know the Liberian people. Yeah, and even for me, who I live here, I've been to all the 15 counties before wanting to be president. But the towns I'm going to now, I had not been to before. I had not been to before. Can you imagine taking bath in a bathroom where half of your body showing? It has happened to me on this trip.
Okay.
Yeah? Sleeping on bamboo bed with the straw, the palm straw put in a empty bags that is so. I slept there.
Yeah, because you want to be president?
Senator, because I grew up there. Okay. When I went to school, I was sitting on bamboo benches.
Councillor.
So I know.
Councillor, which is true. And the Liberian people, some people you've met may be impressed with all of the things you've done. But again, they want to know, because the vice president is not just a small person. No, that person is your principal. I want to bring you back to how soon, whether in the next 1 month or 2 months, because we don't want a situation where tomorrow is election day and then today you selecting the running.
But you just said if I do it very late, it will affect my chances to win. I'm in this to win, so I will do it within a reasonable time.
Talking about knowing the person and the person should know Liberia. I mean, you people. I want to point this name out. Your own man in our Liberia, we took by Nantikote have been around for a very long time. Are you looking in his direction? He appears to be somebody who in your line.
No, he's very old. He's retired now.
Yeah, but you're talking about somebody who knows Liberia very well.
We're together. So I'm getting my advice from him. I'm bouncing ideas on what. This morning we're having coffee at Cape Hotel. We come to town every morning.
I've seen the both of you together. He took you at one of the stations at one time.
Right. So we are close. Those are the change agents of the 70s. And that's why we won the election. We had election in 1983, the coup and last about election. The progressives were going to take power in 1983. It would have been other people that were back on my way, no question about that. So I always ask him. He was, for example, in Putu in 1979 when the demonstration was taking place here. I slept in Putu Tiawan the other day, talked to some old people that know about Tibote. So those are people who made their sacrifices, stay here all through. It's only when he appointed with military government that he went to Europe and was teaching at the university in Holland. I love Liberia. I have had my chance to work with UN too. I worked with UN in South Africa. I was coordinator. I had a chance of going, I was a UNV. Kofi Annan started at UNV and became Secretary General. I decided to come home. Because I always feel like I want to make Liberia like America, like anywhere. I don't want to leave my country. I left from here. I was forced into exile in 2002. As soon as Taylor left, during the 2005 election, I came back. Some people who went in exile are still there, got a green card. I don't have a green card.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't even get licensed in America. I didn't get driver license. I said, when I get driver license, then I want to get a credit card. Then you say a card note. Then I have to be working. Then also I want to rent an apartment. I did not get a house, get mortgage, nothing to tie me. Deliberately, 3 years I spent in America. I was there and not there. My heart was in Nigeria. Okay. So as soon as it became chance for me to come back, I came back. Because I strongly believe each of us and all of us have a responsibility to transform our country. This country is one of the richest countries on earth, naturally, that God gave us. Rainfall that we take for granted here. I was working in Ethiopia in Didudawa. And one day rain fell and people were standing in the rain with a kosu. I said, are you people crazy? They said, no, we are not mad. We are not rain here for 3 years. But we take water for granted here. We take rain for granted. So that's and the soil is so rich. Then in terms of fertility, and then the rain is falling there all the time. So the plum trees in Monrovia, most of them were not planted by people. They just eat the drop the thing and start growing. It doesn't happen in many countries. My people, Liberia is rich. Then under the soil, we got diamond, we get gold, we get iron ore, we get uranium,
we got bauxite.
So the only reason we are poor is that we are poor by choice. We Liberian people, we can choose poverty. On election day, we do not vote for competent people and people who have shown the track record of love in the country. We vote for incompetent people who care for themselves. And then we suffer in the end.
Councillor, the people are basically confused, especially during election period. Everyone says nearly the same thing. Everyone says that they want to change the country. They want to eradicate or reduce the poverty level. They want to improve education. They want to improve healthcare. They want to revitalize the economy. They want to provide access to affordable jobs. They want to do infrastructure, and they want to just do everything. Everyone has the same message. But every time the people take a try at the messages they present, it turns out to be a figment. And so the people are confused.
George Weah did not give them any promise. He did not say all these things. He was just popular. He said, "You make me president." I had Liberia at heart. And he elected him. How Liberia was at his heart, they didn't know. Now Liberia was at his heart to take all our money and build for the 7-story building for himself and enjoy himself. Yeah? But they didn't know, so they bought pig in the bag. We should look at people's track record in governance. You know, George Weah had not worked except for the main senator for
3 years.
But I'm saying that the branch of government that runs the government, the executive branch, he had not actually worked there. Okay, I mean, one peace ambassador, those are ceremonial jobs, right? And so I was in Grand Crew in Belgium. I say, you know the mistake we made in the country. Oh, we're tired with the politicians. All right. So because the mechanics, you can't trust them when they finish your car after 2 days, but then you go back or they charge you heavily. So does that give you any reason to take your new Mercedes-Benz to a carpenter to fix? Of course, the carpenter can hammer. He will hammer the engine. He will hammer the car. He will hammer everything. When it gets spoiled, you don't blame the carpenter. You blame yourself because you the one took your Mercedes-Benz. And that's the situation we're in today. That one Liberia is in the virtual ICU, intensive care unit. So because a situation like between Kilipo Kanweke and Bopo Kanweke, and I talk about which there were several experiences in the country, but I want to show that because it's on a highway. We have problems in Boajike, in Philadelphia, in different places. But that shows emergency. That in the ICU right there, because you're sick and they take you to the clinic, you die right there. That's ICU. That's where President Weah.
Let me take this lastly. You are contesting as you are a presidential aspirant, and there's this issue with your county, Nima County. We are hearing news that the political leader of the MDR may be selected as running mate to Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai, and he's from the dominant Gyo tribe, which may undermine your chances in your county as one person who is from the Mano tribe that is not as popular as the Gyo tribe in Nima County. I mean, how are you going to navigate through that entire stuff to ensure that you get Nima County paying attention to you, since you are running as the president and not going for somebody who may be running as vice president on another person's ticket?
You know, the people can
it's an uphill battle.
You know, the people can make mistakes with their trial business. In Nimba, if Gio put a long of voting for Prince Johnson, he will not win. People, the Nimbayans vote for him for the actions he took during the war, and that's all because Prince Johnson did not grow up in Nimba. You know, he did not grow up in Nimba like some of us who grew up in the villages. I went to school in Kanta, Tapeta, Mela, Sanikole. But he did something that the Nimba people appreciate because they say it was a critical time in the intervention. But to be president, so that when they talk about Gio being, we don't vote on tribe. They're voting for him as a president. If another Gio president without Prince Johnson had been running, the president will not get the votes that Prince Johnson gets. So they're not voting for Prince Johnson because he's Gio. They vote for him for the role he played during the conflict, right? So we don't vote like that in Nimba necessarily. It is because of the president. And to think, and to tell you, many times Senator Prince Johnson has lifted people's hands up and they didn't win. Nimba.
Yeah.
When 2005 election, the late George Kokor, and the late Moses Blah, and a few other people, we met in Kanta. They were on George Weah's side. And me and Dr. Koto and a few other people were on Ellie's side. Second round, when I came in the country.
Sure.
And we got majority of the votes in Nimba over them. Even though it was clear on radio that this was the side he was taking. So the history is that they vote for him, but he does not necessarily sway Nimba votes. And the people of Nimba see me just as they saw Jackson Hebdo, that this is an experienced, well-educated son of Nimba, experienced, went through the line. Our president of the Nimba University students in 1980 when the coup took place, right? And I went to school, I got classmates in Ganta. The current immigration chief in Ghana is my kindergarten classmate, Budi. You know, I got classmates, schoolmates in Sanikole, in Mela, in Tapeta, and I know Nimba so well. And they know that like Jacinto, I've been minister in government, and I work in 3 areas of government. In the mansion, I work there. So, in fact, you consider all the presidential contenders except George Weah now. I'm the only one who has had experience in the office of the president. So I was like mechanic boy. You know, when you're mechanic boy, you learn to be mechanic. So I've been a presidential trainee as executive assistant to the president. So I know how to make presidential decisions. Yeah, I've learned that. So Nimba knows that. That I've been president. It's not a small thing to be. I'm the first person.
But
I'm the first person from Nimba to be president of this powerful organization called the Bar Association. And guess what? I'm the first president of the Bar to host an international conference of the Bar in 112 years. It didn't happen by accident. It shows some degree of quality of leadership. For the first time, I introduced licensing of lawyers in this country, and it raised the standard of the practice. And through that, the bar has become self-reliant because for you to get a license, you have to pay all the dues. So the bar has money. I built the first floor of the 3-story building that the bar has designed to build. I built the first floor. It didn't happen by accident. This is leadership. So when I say, for example, I will make Liberia a rice exporter rather than a rice importer, I've thought about it. When I say the roles will be meeting, I've thought about it. So when I say that our health system will be good, and when I say educationally, I will eliminate illiteracy in 2 years by giving starting to junior high students, senior high students, college students to do after-school teaching program and teaching at least 10 illiterate people in their communities, and that in 2 years, everybody in Liberia will be able to use the phone because you can only use the phone if you know how to put number there. If you know how to put a message there. A lady in supermarket, Bapulo say, that thing you're talking about, I say, ma, if you don't know book, you get a phone here. Somebody, I send you $50 now. I say, keep it secret. I don't want the other people in supermarket to know I'm passion. You give it to somebody. Then I'm secret again. She said, that's true. That thing happened. And I said, the person might even steal your money. She said, that's true. My own daughter, somebody sent me 15,000 liberty. She took 10,000 and man at 5,000 and 7. When the person, the relative will come to visit now, week before the person will visit, I got confession to me. The money they sent to you, the other 15,000, but I took 10,000. So I told him, she said, if I know both, that thing will not come to happen. So it's important for people to be literate, to know how to read and write, because the whole country, the whole world is operating by phone. So, and the only way to know.
This is to say that you are very optimistic that Nima Kante will support you.
No,
or any other kind.
They already supporting me. Look, there was a poll in Nimba, I think 2 days ago.
Okay.
My nephew didn't come out. You know, Jeremiah is my nephew.
Okay.
Traditionally, nephew can't fight uncle. Maybe that's why he's trying to be vice presidential candidate, so he can't see himself fighting me. You know what I'm saying? so yeah, which is all right. We have good relationship. You know, when I leave the studio, I just call him to say hello. You're my senator. So they say Gongloe number 1. I think at 37 years old or 17, one of the brothers are 7. Then Joseph Boakai, 7. George, we have 4. Coming 0 in Nimba.
Okay.
And 2 days ago.
Okay.
So they know their own. You see? And deliberately, the way I move around, I talk to the elders all over.
In Nimba?
All over Liberia.
I'm talking about Nimba case specifically.
But Nimba, in Nimba, they approved me. The Bonkande elders came and gave cutlass to Nimba elders, said that our nephew will give your cutlass, he will say you will support him in a meeting chair by the joint of the paramount chief of Nimba. Paramount chief Franklin Tower. So we'll give you the cutlass to cut everything in front of Nimba. Then one of the elders got up. So the thing our in-laws are saying is that since we have agreed to support Councillor Gongloe, if any of our sons come after him, we should tell our son to sit down for the next election, because I'll be shame business if giving word to our in-laws, because my mother is from Bonkande.
Sure.
You know, so the people keep their tradition, and now Nigerians will always listen to them, but at least they will tell them that this is our tradition. We're giving our word. Don't make us shame. Yeah.
Yeah, so we hold Councillor right there, and of course go to the line. We got Councillor Tiawan Gongloe in the studio. 2 many things we're looking at. Of course, we got talked about the president.
You're gonna have me 5 hours and
we'll be here. Let's go to the line. 081-105-105, 086-105-105. Add the numbers to call. We go to the person very quickly. Good morning.
Thank you so much, let me say thanks to Councillor Tiawan Saye Gongloe. To you today, realized that the President Tiawan used 3 times his convoy, and that's a fine economic policy that we are presenting. Because we have a powerful country in Liberia, we do not need a president who is an extravagant person. We need a president whose lifestyle will come to sell the economic growth of our country. And finally, before I leave your land, let me say to my friend and brother Ben that in Nima country and for country, Nima City and all of the West City are searching for a president who will not kill innocent orators, who will not go after innocent lives, because these days they have created civil crisis in our country, so it is wrong. So we look for a president, no trauma issue and down. Nigerians are wrong people, and we will never discriminate against anybody.
Thank you, Razon P. Thank you. Let me hold you right there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. This is after our wedding, good morning to the councillor.
Go ahead, Arthur.
Yes, you know, some of us who have followed the councillor, especially the progressives, some of them who are now in politics, one of the things we characterize them by is the level at which they do that poll. He has to explain to us how the progressive community, you know, the community is with him. Who's supporting him and how they are supporting him in general.
Thank you, Arthur.
Let me just end with this, please. Gongloe and many of the last time I told you. The progressives in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 70s, they agitated America, the dominant in Nigeria, and some of them, they still, decisions of America, I want to let's tell us what are some of the mistakes that America
Good. Okay. No problem. You're listening and you'll talk about that. Good morning.
Good morning, Tatas. Good morning, Marius. This is Robert Way, and I call from somewhere around the street.
Way, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Council, and thank you for speaking to the Liberian people. Excuse me. Most time, we call on you to see how best you can collaborate with Pastor Joseph Boakai, not in the state of arrogance, because when we speak of integrity ticket, or Boakai Gongloe ticket would be certainly and integrity deeply. Please, we hope you are concerned that we know you have every right to contest the presidency. But I guarantee you, we will rally and rally comes 2029 if you serve as a running mate to Pastor Joseph Mambwaka, because we see that integrity in you to continue his vision. Thank you so much.
Thank you. He's going to respond to that. Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Josiah
Small Josiah, quickly, go ahead. 10 seconds, no time.
Yes, the reason thank you to Governor Gongloe. I'm always following. You were following OK yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. When it comes to the future, like social depends on how you want to go in the country. But then, right, especially on saying is that it's not of us. I'm looking for one group and other job where we want to see change and put it right over the people. The one thing with every necessary, we up our eyes together. You can also do that with unity. We want mind and focus. So that we can do it together and make it better for ourselves.
Okay.
Then, the last point is, yes, if you don't make it to the first round, rather the second round. If an opportunity to the second round, will you be willing to propose the opportunity?
He's going to answer that question, but I'm sure that he's going for one round according to him. But let's get this person. Good morning.
Good morning, Sabu.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now let's further appreciate the council and the Nigerian people in general. But I'm happy that he's in studio today. I just listened to a caller, and then this caller said we would appreciate if the council can do a immediate drive. But from all indications around this country, the council has been talking about collaboration. But everybody's saying that Waka does not want coming, and Waka doesn't want the council because the council doesn't have money to prove his life. Yes. And then truly, from our assessment around the country, there seems to be the killer thing in the red. So I see no reason why if a broadcast would not invite Councilor Gongloe to say, look, my younger brother, come to be my running mate. Why doesn't want to do that? And if comes October, we lose the election, why can't we be responsible for he? Because he cannot see George here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and that's a discussion at the highest level. I think they're going to handle that there. But let's move on. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, sir. 30 seconds, Victor.
I will start from the place
Quickly. Yeah. No, man, there's not a teaching show. There's not a teaching show. There's not a teaching show. We're in 21st century, that's in the OSTO.
Why would he go there instead of water? If water won't mean when he comes to watching, he has to be for establishment of politician. Yes, that is a new people in the country for the fact that water they even help the Malapu. It means that it's one of the established politicians because the Malapu don't have 7,000 evidence. So what would be water between
Okay. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. The argument is on there. Liberians are speaking. 081-105-105, 086-105-105 are the numbers to call. Folks, this morning we have Councilor Tiawan Gongloe. Of course, he's the lead of LPP, and he's asking Liberians, putting forth his policy so that Liberians will see fit to have it elected. Let's get this person. Yes, sir. Joy FM.
Yeah, okay. I really look at the country world in this country. Thank you, Councilor. Thank you very much. I don't have any question I ask you any question. I advise to all of you for teaching. You have to have It's common understanding. You know, I know all you have to turn around, all you have to turn around. You should have the common understanding. Say anything possible, all you come together and make a ticket, all you have the same idea. Say it's possible to have the same ticket. After the first round, the second round, put our group for the second round. Please, don't let it go to go. Please.
Great. Good morning. Yes. Yes, sir.
My name is John D. Boba. I call from Cllr Street.
Yeah, Moba, go ahead.
Thank you. You know, I like the councilor deliberation. You know, I like the way you guys, and I like the way the councilor, the hard question that you asking him, and he very passionate. The problem is, Councilor Gongloe is just an individual within the LPP party. Councilor Gongloe will not go to Ambassador Kwakai, Ambassador Kwakai, I want you to, let me see your bad religion. It is impossible. There will be a no value added to him. But when Ambassador Kwakai call on our brother leader, I want you to be my bad running mate. This is making sense. But how can the council, want to Kwakai say that there will be nobody attached to him. So I'm going to say to all appearance, Councilor Gongloe is the best opportunity to deliver Liberia, and this coming election automatic, we're going to make sure, we're going to ensure that Liberia
All right, Chief.
is delivered in the hands of Councilor
Thank you.
Tiawan Saye Gongloe.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll hold you right there. We'll go to this person. Good morning.
Good morning, this is Douglas. I'm calling from Europe. How are you?
Douglas, go ahead. Or why now?
Thank you. I want to say thanks to my brother, Saye Gongloe. You know, born in Lopa at the age of 2, moved to Nima County all of my life in Nima. I was supposed to Gongloe for 2029. I mean. So, I mean, Gongloe is one of the
But wait now, what is happening to the one today if you do it? Why are you waiting for 2020 now? When you know that Nigeria is at a critical point.
The men are going to look for.
No, now you got to go look up first. Because the first person that announced his thing to confess is our son from Lopa County. And, you know, Lopa County is
Douglas.
My mother is from Nima. But my mother is from Nima. You know, the mother then got the head of the children. So, you know. But 2029, look, I will ask you, Mr. Gongloe, to go alone and test the water. Let the people know me. They know I'm seeing him, I'm following him, I'm showing him his villages, in his Lopa. And 2029, everybody will know him now. So he's running a very good campaign where the people know you. And I think Gongloe is also more than one about forgetting. Just go in here. Let the people know you. Thank you very much.
All right.
You have good luck.
You're looking at the song and you're looking at the policy that people presenting. 0811515061515. We have Councilor Tiawan Gongloe in the studio, and of course we're talking Liberia this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, thank you.
Mr. Boa, go ahead.
Good morning to you, sir.
Mario.
You make me money. Exactly why you told me like this, what Father did. Father, when you just got there, your father was elected president. You keep on total employment to the higher height. Let's get back to yourself. That man was able, that money education ministry, I was there working at that time. That man came and entered with 7 stores. That's why the minister not there. We saw all over the minister, people running for their area, also. Why think the party is the money, checking all the ministers as to whether if they are working? If it was true, our minister was not there. He was not present, not really. He came in here. And after 2 days, he was fired. We saw that in this country. So that came out the reason why he was using the high because you can use that to even get to the phone to take the credit.
All right, Mr. Boa. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, let me hold you right there. Good morning.
Good morning, Emmanuel. Good morning to Ben. And let me say good morning to the councilor, the lender councilor, the full main lawyer, Councilor Gongloe. This is DJ Lone.
Yeah.
Councilor Jala.
Yeah, Digon Jala, go ahead.
Okay. Let me say thank you very much. You know, I will follow Mr. Gongloe of the Tiawan places that you are all follow the internet. And I see within myself that if you leave Nigeria, the one we see now, the opposition, only a technical military process that they brought here is not working for. The election can be cheated on the day of the election. Before the election, I want to play the card. What we see the election commission doing now, Papa will get you put your acts together. Even if you really go together now, but you go together and see that election commission, something is going on that is not going on right. They will save you. Now, no time we go to the Supreme Court and say, oh, you all the thing, why you're sad? Even though you're happy, but not enough to cancel the result. So I beg you, Councilor, you tackle it from the election commission and see how the process will be free and fair. Thank you, may God bless us and may God bless my man like you.
Thank you, DJ. We'll take one more call and then we'll go back to the councilor. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is Daniel Senior. I want to appreciate Councilor Gongloe this morning. This is your nephew, and I'm calling now. I want to suggest to you after this your program today, I want to see you. There's other secrets that I don't want to discuss on this platform so that I can discuss with you personally.
Okay. Thank you, same here, man. Making your point this morning. But let's go back to council. Council, you listen to all of the callers and it appears that everyone.
Yeah, there was no question.
Two issues. Okay. One issue here.
Collaboration.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get that.
Yeah. Let me say, I've said that, look, Liberia is number one. I'm not an independent candidate.
Okay.
I belong to one of the oldest political parties in Liberia. It's called Liberian People's Party. That has a party structure, chairman, vice chairman, all of that. If any party wants to deal with me, approach my party leadership. I'm not an independent candidate. That's one. That has not happened. The other aspect is, but I'm ready to talk to anyone. And this time around, Ambassador Barker and I have not met. There have been, I think, 2 or 3 attempts to meet, and our different schedules are not permitted. Sometimes I'm out of time. Again, that's why I always say the time that the 4 parties were talking about collaboration was the best time because campaign had not started. Yeah. Now, every day I'm here, and I got my own program now to reach out to the people. Each of us have a program to reach out to the people. Any time of the day, Barker is somewhere, Wea is somewhere, Gongloe is somewhere, the community is somewhere, and time is not,